Hey everyone, welcome to a little bit of an update video. Now I did promise in my last video, part of my Fresh Start series, that I would start covering patch notes and updates a lot more for people and at least keep everybody updated. If you're not somebody that reads patch notes or you're not somebody that looks at the website for updates, then hopefully you're going to find this video useful. Now before I go any further, as always, like I said in the last video, if you can at least give this video either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, leave a comment if you can, it really helps the channel. YouTube's algorithm has gone completely insane and it's punishing channels now that have lower interactions and lower engagement from its community. This channel used to get tons of upvotes or downvotes and just a lot of comments and conversations, so if we can get back to having that, I can keep creating this content and keep building the channel. So as always guys, just leave that thumbs up or a thumbs down, it doesn't matter, just let me know what you think about this content and if you want to see more of it. But anyway, let's have a look at the 15th of January updates. So this is a little bit of a weird one because it's not a big patch update or anything like that, but there are a couple of key things that I want to bring to your attention and I want to go over. First of all, we're going to have a look at the Dandelion Awakening weapon change. So this is something that I find quite hilarious really, that it went under the radar from Purl Abyss. So in the most recent update they actually missed a significant change to the Awakening weapons. And that's something that they should have mentioned, however it wasn't covered in the notes. And essentially it's a switch from human damage on the weapons to extra damage to all species. This is great because it solidifies Dandelion weapons as being the best overall Awakening weapon that you can have regardless of class. As you can see on here, the increases are relatively significant in terms of the extra species damage at Pen being 12, but Tep being the most reasonable one at plus 10 for people that currently have that gear. What this does also shine a light on is the discrepancy between additional human damage and all species damage, and lets you show that it's not a straight 1-for-1 conversion and it's not as simple as 1 AP is equal to 1 human damage. So this sheds a little bit of light on that for you and also clarifies the changes that went through to the Dandelion weapon in the last update that they hadn't actually covered in the patch notes. Letting the ball slip a little bit there, PA, but hopefully they're going to get back on track once we get this daft update through with Sony and Microsoft that allows them to actually put content out again. But anyway, enough of that, we'll move on to the next one, and that's the Purl Shop update for January. Now I don't normally cover the Purl Shop because I'm not somebody that's going to push microtransactions on anybody at all. My Fresh Start series is showing that I'm doing a completely free to play playthrough of the game, and I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm not just shelling out money constantly. As somebody that has spent an absolute fortune on this game over my years of playing, I fully understand that a lot of people don't necessarily want to invest money in the game, and for those of you that aren't looking to spend, it's very important that when you do spend, you get the most bang for your buck, and you're spending money where you really get benefit from and real value. So let's take a look at that now. Now when it comes to the Purl Shop, I'm a big advocate in the only real thing worthwhile, after you've got things like your pets and your carry weight and inventory space if you really want them for your character, is Artisans Memory. Now PA are very smart, they know that Artisans Memory are incredibly valuable. Artisans get you 4 times the value from memory fragments when you're repairing, and do have some uses in other repairs outside of just boss gear. Now interestingly enough, because PA love RNG so much, they have put the Mystical Artisans Memory bundle on the marketplace, or on the Purl Shop at least. Now these are a really interesting thing because it's just an RNG chance of getting more memory fragments and getting more value from it. So essentially the thing to look at though is, do you actually get value from this? Now keeping in mind that the lowest amount of memory fragments that you will get from this is 20 at a 12% chance. Everything else is relatively good value from this. You're looking at normally spending about 450 per 10 artisans if you were to buy them straight up. So this is probably going to be worthwhile for you if you've got the 1000 pearls to spend. There is always that chance that you'd hit that magic 200 quantity and come out with a really decent volume of memory fragments. However, what's more than likely going to happen is that you'll pick up one of the lower memory fragment amounts. It is worth noting though that there are cronstones in this, so if you're somebody that really detests cronstones and has no use for them, it might be better off just going with the straight up memory fragments. Like anything though in this game with RNG, a lot of this is a gamble, so I'll leave it down to your discretion whether or not you want to risk that, or whether you want to just go straight up for Artisans Memory as you normally would. That being said though, if I was personally buying Artisans, I think I'd take a punt on this purely because Even at 9% and hitting those 35 artisans, or even just getting the 30, another 12% is a really decent return on investment. However, I would be really annoyed if I was just buying one of these bundles and I came out with the lowest value, or worse still, if I came out with a bunch of cronstones that I didn't really need. Which is interesting because when we look at cronstones, or at least where you can get your cronstones from in game, you know that you can pick up any one of the costumes. Now, there is currently a 30% discount on the premium boxes on the triple premium pack and 20% on the double premium pack. This means that it is highly likely that come this Sunday, once the Purl shop limits reset again for the whales, that there will be an influx of premium costumes on the marketplace. Usually whales can't resist spending this kind of money because they're getting so much more value out of what they would normally do when they're rinsing costumes and throwing them out on the marketplace. This is really good when you think about it for all of the free-to-play players that have a lot of silver lying around, because it allows you to pick up costumes even if you're not using them for cronstones. You get those Valks cries that are going to help you boost your stacks up, which is fantastic if you're still running Valencia for accessory stacks or Tet stacks, and better still if you're at the point where you're starting to go for Tet accessories now. This is going to really help you to push up those fail stacks without actually failing. So I'm always a big fan of the triple premium packs coming on sale, because it usually means I get a lot more value when I'm going onto the central marketplace. I can pick up a lot more costumes a lot quicker, and I don't have to buy them myself, which is great for my wallet, not so great for my time investment in the game though, because I spend a hell of a lot more time playing. We've also got the Lynx Trio pet pack. Again, this is something that you may or may not see an influx of pets, but to be fair, at 2,700 for 3 pets, I wouldn't expect to see pets on the marketplace. A 10% discount just doesn't give it any real monetary value for people, but if you are looking to pick up pets, now's a really good time for that. And then we've got things like the item drop scrolls, for 10 of them for 1,250 pearls, 1,250, as well as a 15-day Camasylvia blessing. This has some really good value, especially if you're grinding Ackman or History at this point in time, because it's going to allow you to really pull up those big numbers on trash per hour through the item drop scrolls. What I would say though is that if you are grinding places like Ackman and Histria, don't be using blessings of Camasylvia. The trash has a 100% trash drop rate anyway, so having a blessing of Camasylvia up just really isn't going to actually help you that much in terms of your numbers. An item drop increase scroll, on the other hand, that definitely helps and is proven to increase your trash per hour by around 1,500 to 2,000, so definitely worth using. If you aren't grinding a spot like Histria or Ackman at the moment though, don't waste item drop scrolls on places that drop gold accessories. The increase just really isn't worth it. You're better off waiting for when Camasylvia does come out and you've got high trash value like Manchums to grind instead. Other than that, there's nothing massive on the Purl shop. There are some new costumes, nothing too fancy. Not a big fan of the Arctic Fang outfit set either. The last thing though, other than these sale items like these, such as the Carstarn Classics, some storage expansion coupons that nobody's really buying at the minute, we do have a very interesting life experience transfer coupons. This is going to allow you to transfer your current life skill experience to a different character in the same family. This is a really good way of transferring around experiences if you have a life skill character, but for some reason, for example, you have fishing on your main, and you find it a bit tedious running back from Valencia all the way to Hydel or Velia to fish every night before you log off. That being said though, 2,200 pearls, is it really worth it? For me personally, I don't think it is, so I really wouldn't bother wasting my money on this, but there are life skillers out there that will find this incredibly useful if they took a step in the wrong direction on their class setup to start with. But that brings us to the end of the Purl shop update. So there's nothing huge. There are a couple of high value things there, that, or at least possible high value things. Some things to look out for, like the triple premium pack on the costume if you're looking to buy costumes. And if you're looking to buy artisans, now could be a really good time to do that. The login rewards and the login calendar, there is absolutely nothing special here. I'm a little bit annoyed, to be fair, that they've gone with the same lazy calendar that they did last time. There's nothing interesting. We're going to get another 10 Shakatu seals over the 28 days, another fine accessory box on day 24, and other than that we've got things like item drop scrolls, advice of Valks, sharps and hards, and memory fragments. Now for those of you that like to play the market and flip items, it's worth keeping in mind things like the fine accessory box. On day 24 of this calendar, you're going to notice that accessories will hit their all-time low for the month. This is something that people can consistently make money off if you're enhancing for profit, or if you're looking to buy accessories to push your gear. Waiting for day 24 and just saving up until that point is a really solid option. Also, things like day 8 and day 9, and again day 19 and day 20, there'll be an influx of sharps and hards onto the marketplace that will normally bring the price down a bit, especially if there's been a drought like there has been lately. So that's definitely worth holding out for. Memory fragments won't tend to do too much to the market because it's already in a little bit of flux as it is. But other than that, there really isn't a whole ton that's going on in terms of the login event, so nothing really interesting, and a bit of a cop-out really out of pure laziness, I'm guessing, because they can't really push content at the minute with that whole Microsoft and Sony licensing bollocks that's going on. Now, there is a new event, the New Year's Moon Rice Cake. This is another one of those horrific, boring RNG login events. So you are quite literally going to be collecting things to turn into a moon rice cake. There is nothing special to this, it's really boring. You're going to get honey, bean and sesame by killing monsters, fishing or gathering, so pretty much everything you do in game. You're going to combine them, and you need to put them in a line in your inventory, so you need to turn off the auto sort. It's going to turn into a moon rice cake, and you get a chance at these lovely things here, like a 1000G bar, the Zarka weapon box, an Ogre Ring Basilisk belt, Purl box, 2000 pearls, a Dandy weapon box, Nuva, Sissel, Tungrad, Fugitive Calx, but 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of a million, you will get Cronstones. Enjoy Cronstones, enjoy Magic Fluid Collectors, enjoy the odd memory fragment, oozes, music box, maybe a couple of black stones out there, but overall I would not expect to get any of these big ticket items. That being said, it is RNG. There are people that will get lucky, they will pick up the pearls, they'll pick up the dandy box, they'll get the ogre rings, you will see it. So it's one of those things that you're really not going out of your way to do this event. So just keep gathering the items and then turn them all in at the end of the month or the end of the event. You're not missing out on anything, they're just going to take up inventory space, but ultimately collect them, open them up, it's free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff? Anyway guys, that was just a bit of a quick update. There really wasn't anything massively interesting to cover on the 15th. I'm hoping that towards the end of January, the start of February, we start getting a bit more interesting content. We get some big updates for the things that we're missing. As always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Leave any comments in the comment section, and I will have the next episode of my free-to-play series coming up. It's been a little bit of a slow ride because I'm sat on a lot of things that I need to sell. I haven't really been doing any except the AFK training because I haven't actually been playing that much. I will be covering why I've not been playing lately. There are a few interesting things coming to the channel, so keep an eye out for those, and I'll catch you in the next one.